Investors anticipate that the U.S. Central Bank will proceed with a 0.25 percentage point rate hike on Wednesday. Jeong Eun-joo has some of their expected scenarios.
The U.S. Federal Reserve is expected to raise interest rates by 25 basis points when it concludes a two-day meeting on Wednesday. According to the CME Group's FedWatch tool as of Wednesday morning, traders are pricing in an 86% chance of a rate hike. The Fed's meeting comes as uncertainties arise over the financial system following the sale of the First Republic Bank to JPMorgan Chase and Co, led by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. Investor focus is on whether the Fed hints at a pause or further tightening of interest rates to control inflation. JPMorgan presented 4 different scenarios on how it sees the market reaction. The company said the hike and pause scenario is the most likely, and the S&P 500 could add 0.5% to 1%. The second scenario is a sustained rate after this raise. JPMorgan explained that the Fed is likely to suggest additional hikes as 2 consumer price index reports are scheduled before next month's meeting. In this case, the S&P 500 index is expected to decline between 0.75% and 1.25%. If the Fed does not raise the interest rate and stops raising it in the future, the S&P 500 index is expected to rise by about 1.5%. This third scenario, however, is unlikely. The final, also unlikely scenario is the Fed cutting rates, which would lead to a 2.5% increase of the S&P 500 index. If the Fed follows through with a 0.25 percentage point rate hike, the gap between the U.S. and South Korean benchmark interest rates will hit an all-time high of 1.75 percentage points, exceeding the previous 1.5. U.S. stock futures all rose on Wednesday morning as investors look ahead to the Federal Reserve's latest policy decision. Dow Jones Industrial Average futures climbed by 73 points or 0.22%. S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 futures rose 0.21% and 0.03% respectively. On Tuesday, the major averages notched a second straight losing session as the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq Composite all dropped more than 1%. Jeong Eun-joo, Arirang News.